Hello, I'm Erica Reed. I'm with the Center for Musical Arts, and I am talking today with our violin and fiddle instructor, Max Wolpert. How are you, Max?
Hi there. Thanks for talking again.
So I know that you teach individual lessons, and then we have a separate video about that I can link to. But today I'd like to talk about some workshops that you have coming up. Can you start off and tell me about the Old Time Fiddle Workshop? Who might be a good student for that, and how are those classes run?
Yeah, absolutely. So these classes are designed to sort of be a stylistic introduction to this American old time style. This is a form of traditional music, mostly from the southeastern United States, from sort of the 19th century up to the first half of the 20th century, though of course it is still alive and well also. And the idea behind the way that we've structured this class is that for a student who is maybe interested in branching out and trying a different style, maybe they've taken some classical violin lessons, they've played some in their school orchestra, and they're maybe interested in trying something a little bit different. This class is a kind of good jumping off point into that new style. Students can sign up either for the full run of the courses or just do one class and try it and see if they like it. And so it's kind of designed to be a taste test of this new style for students who have some experience elsewhere. This will give them a taste for learning tunes by ear and improvising and playing with other people, and what is it like to back up somebody else who's taking a solo and to improvise a solo themselves, and so on. As well as just introducing them to some rhythmic principles of creating these grooves and dance forms in the old time style.
Okay, wonderful. And I think that those classes, it says that it's for ages 10 and up, but it sounds like if you have some familiarity with your instrument, like you'd be comfortable in this class.
Yeah, the guidelines are geared more towards skills and experience on the instrument than they are literally for ages. The write up there includes some things in terms of knowing the letter name notes on your instrument, so that if we're doing a scale or something by ear, you know where to find all of those pitches and so on. And understanding things like being able to count in a time signature. Of course, a lot of this music is geared towards dancing, so things like rhythm and groove are very, very important to us in those styles.
Okay, wonderful. And you have another class called the Tunewriting Workshop. How similar is that or how different?
Well, to some extent, it's similar in that it's drawing from some similar stylistic language and drawing on my experience as a traditional musician and a fiddle player. But I think where it's different is that whereas the old time class is really designed to sort of dive into this repertoire of this tradition that's existed for hundreds of years here, the June Writing Workshop is more about activating the student's own creativity. I think that in a lot of ways, certainly on the violin, if we're interfacing with the classical tradition, we sort of are taught, whether consciously or not, that composing and writing music is, reserved, a privilege reserved for dead Austrian men. And that's very much not the case, right? If we're in a traditional music context, whether that's American old time music, traditional Irish or Scottish fiddle, any of these sort of folk styles, tune writing is an integral part of being a performer in those styles. If you are a player, you are also a composer. Everybody writes tunes. It's just something that we do when we're learning to play in these styles. I have been writing fiddle tunes since I was 7 years old. And so in that class, we'll be looking at ways of sort of demystifying that process, breaking down a sense of here's how you go about composing a fiddle tune from scratch, from the ground up. It's not nearly as hard or complicated or scary as a lot of people think it is. And so we'll work on that collaboratively, we'll work on that individually, and students will come out of that class with some understanding of principles of composition and tune writing and having a tune book of things that we've written together.
And forgive my ignorance, but this would be for students of the violin.
Ideally, but not necessarily. So, one of the things that is sort of within those guidelines that it does say is that students of other string instruments are welcome to join. Part of the basing the class around the fiddle and the range of the fiddle means that if you're a violist or a cellist, you're welcome to come, but you may be jumping around in octaves or playing in slightly higher positions to match up with the range of the fiddle. So it's not just for fiddle players or for violinists, but I think the technical requirements are maybe one notch higher for violists and cellists.
Got it. Is there anything else that students would want to know about either of these great workshops that you offer?
Don't tell yourself you can't compose or you can't improvise. You can, I promise. Come
Okay.
play with us.
Sounds like a welcoming environment in both cases.
Absolutely. You can't
All
go
right.
wrong.
Wonderful. Thank you for talking to me today, Max.
Thanks so much.